What up? Glad to see you're watching another Voltrite builds video. You may have noticed that we here at Voltrite have started to sell e-bikes. We have the Oltereta, which is a city bike for women. We have the Oltereke, which is a city bike for men, and for sportier riders we have Olterdorm. But what about the children? We have pretty much nothing for the children. And today we're gonna solve that. $7 this cost me. Now, I also found these, which I think will fit perfectly. I'm thinking this here in the front, and then I can put all this goodness inside there. This should be just about right for a child. With these motors, I think we can do about, about 120 kilometers an hour. And you know, with economical riding, you know, children need to have a lot of range, of course. I think we can manage about 100 kilometers of range. So let's get to it. First thing we're gonna do is try and figure out how we can attach these motors onto this bike. And then we'll go from there and try to figure out everything else. These are, of course, two unicycle motors. They're off of some sort of an old G-Pad 14 Solo unicycle. I don't know what power they're rated for exactly, and they'll probably be good enough. And since they're such a large diameter, they're probably going to enable very high speeds, because we're going to use scooter controllers which are set up for like 10 or 11 inch motors, and this is 14. Can't believe how perfectly it fits. It's not going to be a pedal assisted bike, it's going to be more like a motorcycle type of bike, so you have a throttle and you won't be able to pedal because there's no way to attach the pedals to the new rear wheel. The children who will be buying this will be very happy with it. For ages 3 and up. I don't know how to remove this plastic chain guard. I think it might be glued, so I don't know how to take the chain off. I might end up just cutting it. These wires are really thin. They're most likely going to get hot. So I connected all the electronics up, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the wheel diameter to be correct, and then we'll see what the top speed is. My bets are on 120, but you never know, it could be more, it could be less. Okay. So sit rep, we're not gonna have it. It's not gonna be very fast. It's gonna only do about 50 kilometers an hour. And I know there are children watching, and you're probably very disappointed. But turns out these motors are really heavily geared for torque, and they won't go over like 50. But on the upside, this thing is going to have hideous amounts of torque. I don't know what type of acceleration we're gonna have, but it's gonna be mind-bending. You might be wondering about these things. Yeah, this is completely normal. If your bike is doing that, then it's fine. This is within tolerances. It's completely fine. And it probably has nothing to do with the fact that this bike costs €7. So we've got a battery from Dualtron 3, the controller from a Dualtron Ultra 2, a display from basically any Dualtron scooter, and afterwards I think I'll just find some sort of a nice cloth to put around these things so that they won't be visible, and it'll look completely stock. Nobody will be able to tell that this is electric or modified in any way, so that it fits into the Alter family of bikes, with batteries hidden inside the frame. Whoa, okay. So one small side effect of having everything here in the basket is that it's very difficult to steer, because there's all of this weight in front of it, and it's like sloshes about a bit, but let's go and try it outside, I guess. I like it. As you can plainly see, it's very simple and intuitive to drive. This seat is horrible. I think I'll try and be brave and ride it standing up. As you can plainly see from all the footage we have from the winter testing of our product, it's absolutely brilliant and very comfortable to ride. The brakes work really well, surprisingly well, actually, considering. It's very easy to make them lock up, and since all the weight is basically ahead of the front axle, it really wants to sort of flip here. I bet most of the other e-bikes that we're competing against don't have that feature. The handling is adventurous. You know, you're not gonna have a dull moment riding this. I think we need to test the top speed and, you know, then put it on sale. Bugatti Veyron, there's like a special key that you need to insert inside the door seal and turn it, then it goes into max speed mode. This is basically the equivalent of that on this scooter, so it makes it slightly easier to overcome the fear of death that comes from driving this, because the handling is so very adventurous. That was way less scary than I thought when you stand here. The brakes, they work very well, but it's like a switch. You press it, and I don't think that this brake actually does much, but the electronic brakes, oh boy, do they work. Right now I did 30, but let me tell you, the thing that really counts is the sensation of speed. And it felt to me like I was doing 490, because everything keeps rattling. These things they stand on, they're very secure. Look at it, the previous owner has welded it himself. Look at that beautiful weld. This is what maximum acceleration feels like. Wow! Previously the acceleration was set to 2, and 0 is the best acceleration. And that 2 points of difference, let me tell you, it really does make a difference. Where did all the snow go? It's now 3 months later, and the truth is I was just kind of terrified from the first ride. I didn't really want to ride it again, but I guess I'm riding it now, and it's not through any problem of the bike. The bike is brilliant. I've gathered myself, and now it's time to ride. So I'm thinking this is going to be the most aerodynamical position to do the top speed run. Sitting on the seat is so uncomfortable that I didn't really want to do it anyway. We did try a top speed run in the winter, but it was snow everywhere, so it wasn't very fast. Hopefully it's going to be faster. So I'm optimistically thinking that we're gonna do about 45 kilometers an hour, hopefully. I'm kind of worried about my position because all of my weight is in the back, and I think it might just flip me on my back, but I'll be brave. You know, the acceleration part wasn't actually that scary, but what is scary are the brakes. You press them and then they're completely locked. As you can plainly see, it's very simple and intuitive to drive. The handling is adventurous. It's very easy and intuitive to steer. And GPS says 43. Actually, I'm very disappointed that it's so slow, and I know the children watching it are also very disappointed, but maybe one day we'll make a version 2 with like an 80-volt battery and a controller that could handle 80 volts. So until then, that's gonna be the maximum speed. But let's now see about the torque. As a child, one of the most annoying things was that, you know, you go pedaling with your bike, you ride around, and then all of a sudden you need to tow a Harley Davidson behind you. It's like a 400 kilogram thing, at least. I don't know exactly. And then pedaling around, it's really difficult. But I think this really solves that issue. So let's give it a go. This feels a bit too easy, so I think we'll have to find something heavier to tow. So you towed your Harley Davidson back home, but all of a sudden your dad calls. He's in trouble. His car is broken. You need to tow him back home. What do? Well, you take your bike. Whoa! There you go. And home you go. Thanks to the large battery, you could tow him for miles. Another relatable scenario. What if your dad is a truck driver? So we didn't really have a lorry to try and tow, but we did our best. Here's our company van with the trailer behind it. Onko sermatikkoja? Fuck. Oh, whoa. I think we may have a bit of success here. We're doing a whole 6 kilometers an hour now. Honestly speaking, I'm pretty surprised that the tire held for this long, but it did finally go, and when it did go, it went with the most spectacular bang I've ever heard. So there's still one test that we didn't do, testing how much range your 5-year-old could realistically have whilst driving this bike, but in all honesty, I do not want to do it. It's so painful to ride. And like with this battery, it's entirely possible that sitting down, you know, you're fairly aerodynamic, you could go like 100 kilometers. But it's basically brilliant, isn't it? It has enough power to tow a van with a trailer behind it. What else needs to be said? So this was a really fun build actually, and it went surprisingly smoothly. I mean, everything just fit together, it's like it's meant to be. Still a few things that I'd like to upgrade. I'd like to put an 84-volt battery inside here and better controllers to higher top speeds, you know? I still have a dream of this thing being able to do 100 kilometers an hour, but I mean, respectfully, yeah, it would be pretty much lethal, but you know. Another option would be to use a controller with field weakening, but regardless, that's, I think, something for another video and another day. I think we've done enough for now, and I'm actually pretty happy with the results. But yeah, see you in the next Bolt Drive Builds video.